Hi, this is Rhonda Rawlings with 1073 Jams, and I'm so honored to be sitting here with Mr. Keith David. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Awesome. I should say multi-talented, Emmy-nominated Keith David. I want to start off by saying congratulations on your Emmy nomination.
Thank you.
For the
Appreciate
Jackie
that.
Robinson story.
Thank you.
Wow, such a legend. What was that like working on that project?
Wonderful. First of all, I love working with Kim Burns, and his daughter was also one of the producers, and she's fantastic. Her Central Park project was responsible for helping getting those men off, get some exoneration from that. So, that was a really wonderful project to be a part of. And so, yeah, and Jackie Robinson, I just, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I did Paul Robeson as a one-man show. And doing some of the research, of course, came across Jackie Robinson and his role in that whole McCarthy era case. And interesting, and I think we touched on it a little bit in the documentary, how Paul did not vilify him for his stand, because he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. Every black person did not agree with Mr. Robeson. Or certainly didn't or chose not to do it openly. So he was not wrong about that. The political correctness of saying that in front of the committee was something else. But again, Paul did not vilify him because he understood, that's, it was a choice, and that's the choice that he made. But it wasn't like he was lying.
Wow, the Jackie Robinson story, I think, is one of the best. It's encouraging to me. I'm a huge baseball fan, so I loved it. I love the job that Chadwick Boseman did.
He did a
in the
great
movie.
job. He's a good actor.
He definitely is. He definitely is. He's from South Carolina, by the way.
Really?
Chadwick Boseman. He sure is. So your movie roles, your resume is incredible. I told you earlier before we started filming that I met you when I first got out of school on a film called Final Analysis. But so many people know you from Platoon, from Dead Presidents. You're an iconic actor. Iconic.
I've been called worse, I promise.
So what I want to know is there's a saying that says, if you love what you do, you don't feel like you're working.
That is true and not true. I certainly love what I do, and I've been really blessed and fortunate enough to do it. But there are times when it's work.
Some days you feel like you can work.
Sometimes I feel like I don't want to work.
I can understand that.
It ain't factory work, but and I'm not vilifying factory. But there are times, when it's not as easy to get up and get going. And again, that's for a variety of reasons, least of all the project.
I understand. I do the Tom Joyner morning show. So I'm at work at 5:30 a.m. I absolutely love my job.
But you can't tell me that every day you wake up, you love getting up at 5:30.
That I hit snooze.
You would love to be
quite a
able
few
to
times.
just lay there.
Exactly. So I mentioned earlier that Mr. David is multi-talented. You're an actor of television, of film, of theater. We're in Los Angeles and you're rehearsing for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, the famous Gus Wilson play. You're a musician. You're an amazing singer. I saw some of the videos. You guys can check it out on YouTube. Keith David, I think there was one with, you were singing Nat King Cole.
Yes.
Amazing. Talk to me about how important it is to be sort of multidimensional or multifaceted in an industry that's so competitive.
I think, outside of industry demands or industry opportunities, I think that it's important for artists to have more than one outlet for creative expression. Because certainly as an actor, you're not going to always be working. What do you do with your time? How do you remain creative? lots of people write, and that's a wonderful outlet. I haven't written as much as I'd like to, but that's one thing. But I love to sing, and I love to work on my nightclub act, to work on my music. And that's one mode of creative expression. Now for this play, I have a grand opportunity to learn how to play the bass. I've never played the bass before.
Wow.
For another August Wilson play, 7 guitars, I learned to play a little guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm learning to play a little bit of bass, and I'm really loving it. My son is a bass player, and so I'm looking to get a few tips from him when I see him. And it's kind of fascinating because I'm never going to be Stanley Clark, but I certainly.
Hey, don't limit yourself.
Well, no, I'm not limiting myself, but I ain't fooling
Right.
myself either.
I like that. I like that.
But the goal is to be able to play comfortably,
Right.
and to be able to hear it enough and being to play well enough to go off the script a little bit, throw in a riff or two or something,
Right,
something else
right.
and hopefully I'll get to that place. If I don't get to it, at least I have a goal
Right.
to strive.
Wow. Now, and this just popped up in my head, is that so many different audiences are familiar with you. I was talking to someone earlier, and they said a lot of older people may know, the first thing they'll say is Platoon. Some other generation might say Dead Presidents. I was talking to a teenager the other day about you in my interview, and they said the Gargoyle.
Yes.
Which took me by surprise. I didn't really know about that. So it's like so many generations of people are influenced and love your work. That's got to be an amazing feeling.
Well, listen, God is good every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this a long time, and as I said, I feel blessed and highly favored to have been able to continue doing the thing that I love, the thing that I say that I'm about.
Right.
So that's a blessing.
Definitely.
I have wanted to be an actor my whole life. I said that at 2 years old,
Wow.
and at more than 2 years old, I'm still saying it, and privileged to be doing it. It really is wonderful. And it truly is a gift, because to be present with it every day and to not take it for granted,
Right.
because easily a fact of life about this business is you may not work every day, and that every day may stretch out to be long periods of time. I've been fortunate. My periods of time off like that have not been monumental. Certainly sometimes more than I'd like, but
Right.
hey, the other thing is nobody promised you anything. And all I'm promised is my daily bread, and I'm able to do that.
And one thing you said really touched my heart, is that I've always wanted to do news and entertainment. But when I was growing up, I was very shy. Like, I didn't want to do anything in front of anybody. And my mom would always say, how are you going to be in news and entertainment and you can't, you won't get up in front of an audience? And I was thinking, I don't know, but somehow it's going to work out. And I tell people all the time, if God places a desire on your heart, He's going to be with you until He sees it through. And now it's what I do every day. I'm up in front of people every single day. When I think about that, I kind of get emotional, because that's,
It's a wonderful thing.
It's amazing.
And especially, as I said, to be present with that, not to take it for granted,
Right.
but to understand that this doesn't have to be, and I don't have to I'll use another expression that wasn't the first flash in my head, and that is to say, I don't have to be ingratiating to other people about it, but to be gracious within myself about it.
Definitely.
Gratitude is a wonderful, wonderful thing, because it allows me to, when I come across people who are not as agreeable as I think that they should be, and I don't have to mind nobody else's business. I can absent myself from that particular moment.
Right.
I can just say, excuse me, but you could be miserable by yourself.
Goodbye.
I got
Right.
you.
That's some good advice. That's some good advice. Well, Mr. David is on lunch break. He has to get back to rehearsal, but I just need to talk a little bit about my favorite, absolute favorite show on TV right now. There's no other show that I cannot miss. There's no other show that at the end of the show, I'm like, seriously? I have to wait another week. And if you didn't realize already, I'm sure you have, this is Bishop Greenleaf. The show is amazing. I mean, the show makes you care about the characters. I think it was last week when you went to that church and the other pastor was really rude to you, and I was like, wait a minute. I know he's not talking to Bishop Greenleaf like that, because I'm not sure if we can have this guy on the show much longer. But it's amazing. I love the way when Lynn Whitfield, Lady May, is saying something off the wall or something, complaining about the plane, the looks that you give her. It's just, it's such a great, it's sort of like you're looking over your shoulder, but it's such a great show. What do you think is such, I mean, it has people just
I really appreciate
clinging to
that.
it.
I think, first of all, it's a family drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a family. They happen to be a first family.
Mm-hmm.
The family business happens to be the church, but they're just people like everybody else, and that's what you come to see. And you know, the church is a very sacred part of our community as a whole. And I think the thing that's lovely about it is anyone who has ever gone to church or has any relationship with church, whether or not they would choose to talk about these things,
Mm-hmm.
has experienced
Right.
these things, whatever happens
Mm-hmm.
in a given episode. You know somebody like that.
Right.
You know that guy, you know that girl, you know
Right.
that circumstance.
I can't help but laugh. Right.
Because you've been there.
Right.
I
Definitely.
mean, and sometimes that particular recognition happens before you see whatever the scene has unfolded.
Mm-hmm.
You go, ooh, because you know if we go in this direction, ooh, I know somebody like that.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
oh, that was, you know.
Mhm.
You remember when Mrs. So and
Did you
So's just
know? Yeah.
yeah, right. I mean,
Right.
and you know that, and that's a wonderful thing. I think that one of the things that you know we've been starved for are realistic images of ourselves
I agree.
on TV. I mean, we see a lot of stuff, and we see a lot of stuff that we can kind of identify with. But I mean, one of the reasons why I was happy to be doing this is because immediately when I read the first 10 pages, I knew what this family was about.
Mm-hmm.
I know this family.
Right.
I know these people.
Mm-hmm.
And you do not see that. You don't feel that every day when you watch TV, whether or not you enjoy it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't feel that. And I think there's a fantastic recognition factor.
Right. It
And,
definitely
and,
is.
you just identify.
It grasps you, and you're ingratiated to that family. And my gosh, I've never live tweeted. I'm tweeting. I'm tweeting during the show, before the show. It's an hour to Greenleaf. So it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you need to. What do they say? Start binge watching. Start binge watching. You know, and then watch the show. It comes on Wednesday on the OWN network at 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
So I stay up until 10 p.m. and watch it, even though I have to get up before the crack of dawn the next day. So I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I know you're in rehearsals, but it was just such an honor, and thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is Rhonda Rawlings for 107.3 Jams.